Hi everyone, it's me, Travis of Giggles and Bits. Let's look at this new article. I didn't do a video on the Halo trailer because A, it's going to be on Paramount Plus. B, it didn't look like they were going to be doing anything as far as covering canon with regards to the books or the first three video games. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Halo showrunner Stephen Kane says writing team didn't look at or talk about the game. We talked about the characters and the world. The red flags continue to fly for Paramount Plus' upcoming Halo series, as in a recent interview, showrunner Stephen Kane has revealed that despite penning over 265 drafts, 265 drafts, that's crazy, of the live action adaptation, he and the writing team did not look at or talk about the original games in any capacity. Maybe you wouldn't have to have written 265 drafts if maybe, I don't know, you looked at what the character and the series is actually about as opposed to just like looking at like, oh, there's, we have Spartans, super soldiers going against these aliens called the Covenant and all this other stuff because it's a very complex world. There's a ton of shit in the Halo universe, especially if you get into the books. Alright, so Kane revealed the Halo Writers Room proud ignorance of Master Chief's original video game outing during a recent interview, with variety given alongside various members of the production team in promotion of the series' upcoming premiere. I don't know how many people have actually read the books, but going into the video games, like why would you avoid the video games? Speaking with a trade outlet, he asserted, "We didn't look at the game. We didn't talk about the game. We talked about the characters and the world. So I never felt limited by it being a game." Turning to the topic of Master Chief himself, the showrunner asserted he's everybody, right? He's you, he's me, he's a 6-year-old girl, he's a 15-year-old person in a different country. Whoever plays the game is him. No, we get to play and experience the story of the Spartan named John. We're not each him. We don't see ourselves in him. And if they're writing him from a perspective of that he's everybody, then you've completely missed the fucking point of who John is. We're going to tell a story about a man discovering his own humanity, he explained. In so doing, he's invited the audience to discover the guy's humanity too. He's never been concerned about that his entire life since he was a small child, since he was like 7 years old. He's been in the Spartan program because they kidnapped him, created a shitty clone, gave the shitty clone to his family. They never knew that he was kidnapped, and the shitty clone ends up dying. That's how they replaced the kids. That's how they got a hold of the kids in the first Spartan generation. Like if you want to like have him like discover like what happened to him actually as a child and have him come to terms with that, maybe that's interesting. But I don't know where they're going with all this. Recalling that he wrote up upwards of 265 drafts in the series' first 9 episodes, of which 10 total comprise Halo's first season, Kane shared his excitement at the chance to put his own stamp on the Bungie created universe. Well, or you could just bring the universe that people wanted to life. There are characters that are mentioned once in a book that I was able to give a whole backstory to, and other characters that were already well written that I just had to drop in. He said, "I have to give credit to Microsoft. You can pitch them something brand new, and unless it's really complicated, them in terms of the canon or values of the show, they really embrace it, or they embrace it." The decision to split from the story of Halo video games was further touched upon by 343 Industries head of Halo Transmedia Kiki Wolfkill, who told Variety, "Early on, we were thinking about doing something that could tie very closely with the game. What we were finding was trying to verbatim stay within everything that came before wasn't serving the medium. It also wasn't serving the creative teams and their need to express a story and build the world through their eyes," she elaborated. Speaking to the series' future, Wolfkill also teased that deeply exploring the Spartan's personal life is maybe something that comes in Season 2 or Season 3. Why? Why do we have to deeply explore their personal life? They overcomplicate this shit and they ignore the things that make these franchises popular and dive into crap that if we had interest in, we would have read the books. But even the books, which are well received, the storylines in the books that are well received, don't bother going into any of this crap. So why would we explore these things? It's not what makes the franchise popular. And I guarantee you, part of that personal life is what Spartan is fucking which Spartan. Admitting that he never played the game prior to his joining the series, executive producer director Otto Bathurst of Robin Hood 2018, because we remember that one. Let's bring that up. I'm sure he had to have that credited. Confessed, I was nervous. How do you take a first person shooter and expand it? I don't know. You just write an action series with like maybe a little allure, a little espionage, maybe some secret missions, extractions, maybe an overarching storyline that's hinted at in the beginning and slowly becomes more prominent as it goes along. I mean, you can look at like the you can look at multiple shows to see how they do things like this and build something off of that. It's not copying them, but you're at least using a framework that actually lends itself to the source material as opposed to just shitting on the source material and pulling the things that you like and putting your own little personal fucking spin on it. Though not a member of Halo's writing staff, Cortana actress Jen Tyler, set to reprise her role as Master Chief's AI companion in the upcoming series, added at Paramount Plus exclusive, would be a new and exciting, different kind of beast. It feels familiar and different at the same time, she noted. I hope people will be excited about that. Do you want it to be exactly the way you've already played it and already seen it? I'm not sure. It will be interesting to see how the fans respond to that. If you look at the original Halo books, like the ones leading up to the game, there's a ton of storylines. There's stuff that happens way before the Covenant even become a thing. Like the Covenant are just a recent pop up, and you could lead up into these, like there's seditionist, there's rebel factions that the Spartans have to go in and take care of. They lose personal members. You can start off literally with like John in training, build these characters up as they're creating this camaraderie between each other, going through this shared experience, and then the actual missions that they go on after they've completed their training. Sometimes even before they've completed their training. It's fucking stupid. While not explicitly rated to the series, ignorance of its origins, another red flag was thrown up when Paramount Plus chief programming officer Tanya Giles revealed the streaming platform's plans for the series. This is a swing for a broad audience, she declared. My hope is this expands what the Paramount Plus brand can mean. However, though the Halo writer room seemed to reveal their refusal to engage in the franchise's source material, the same could not be said of actor Pablo Schreiber, who will star in the series as regular helmetless Master Chief. And that's another thing I'm not excited about, is the Master Chief being helmetless, because he rarely takes his helmet off. Rarely. I mean, unless he's like on a military base and he's like in his dress uniform, sharing his excitement at the world conceived by Bungie. Schreiber marveled. The richness and the depth of the universe was immediately kind of mind-boggling and incredibly exciting, because what it means as a storyteller is that there's already been a huge amount of preparation and groundwork. Yeah, yeah. And did you like are you leaning into that? Because it sounds like you're changing a lot of the core principles of the individual characters, things that people like, to make something yourself. I'm in the middle of Halo Infinite campaign right now, he concluded. I'm having a great time. I'm constantly seeing all the things that are similar to what we are doing on the show, so that's really fun. The Steven Spielberg produced Halo will premiere March 24th, Paramount Plus. What do you think of the Halo series? This is garbage. It doesn't make me happy at all. It might be good, but to me it sounds like they had ideas for another series that they wanted to make, but they have to reskin their idea over another franchise and create what they want to create, as opposed to sticking to something that fundamentally isn't Halo. Nothing that I've seen so far, nothing that I've read so far is endearing me to even checking this out. Leave your comment, like, subscribe if you enjoy the video. For those of you that watch this, I hope it's a good series. Is it going to be like an actual Halo TV series? No, just a name only.